I'm not really excited for the show, I'm not gonna lie to you. I know the gays love
Really?
witch. I
Why?
know I said gay that loves said witches, but I don't know. I just don't really care.
You don't think that, Wanda's gonna make an appearance? This is gonna like explode the
Definitely
magic
need to
corner.
see her.
She might be back in it.
Well, congratulations.
They might even add Nico or
Nico would
that's
be
all
fun.
that's all I got. I
I
can't think of anything else.
would- yeah,
I have like five tattoos I really want to get.
I
I don't
got
know
a lot.
where I want to put them. So
I got a lot, and I know where I want to put them. I'm just picky about who does them.
mm, don't want anybody doing it on your body. All right, well, welcome back, y'all, to another episode of another relaunch. Oh, this week I am going to be Kat Matsui. Rest in peace to her. That's John's
Okay,
ex-wife.
I was about to say I
Well,
don't
not
know who
really
that is.
ex-wife, not really ex-wife. And now people will actually know why I don't like Star Sapphire. That is his wife, who Star Sapphire killed. Yeah, yeah, nasty lady,
Wait, which Star Sapphire?
Carol.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, that's fine. You don't gotta like Carol. I am Megan Braddock, aka Gloriana of the Braddock House.
Oh, okay. Does she
Uh,
have magic powers? Or am I making that up?
no, she's half fairy, but she doesn't
Right.
like. It's like a
She can like
Wiccan.
shoot blast or
It's
something,
like
or
she's magic, but she don't really do magic.
what?
Exactly.
Okay. That's why I don't go over there anyway. Anyway, how are you?
I'm doing well. It's been a nice week here. Do you watch Ruby?
Yes.
Oh, you
I watch a
do.
lot of.
Oh, okay, good. Never mind. So the season
They have
I
a recent thing with the Justice League come out,
yeah, I'm not
a
watching that.
crossover.
I don't really like that.
Vixen's in it.
Yeah, I know. I'm still not watching it, and I
Oh
love them.
damn.
But their most recent season just had the season finale, so I was just watching that, and it was like really really good. And so
Mm,
I'm feeling high and elated and energetic off of that, which is great.
okay, that's always great.
Yeah, how are you?
Um, I'm great. I'm fantastic actually because
Oh, okay.
I met Usher recently. Oh my
Oh,
god.
period. What?
I guess I shouldn't say me. So let me tell you what happened. So 420 happened, and y'all know I smoke. So like they had this event going on at this the Palladium out here in Los Angeles. It was like a skate event, like this roller skating event held by Usher. So I didn't. I kind of thought that he was probably going to show up, but like a lot of times they would have these events, and it'll be hosted by a celebrity or like presented by a celebrity, but like they never really show up. Um, so I get there, I roller skate, I do my thing, and then I go up into VIP, and I'm just sitting there. I go outside, smoke
It's
me a little
VIP.
something.
So we're
Well,
saying
obviously,
now.
yes. I'm old now. Like I pay for that now. That's something that I've learned now. When I was younger, I would be like, oh, I don't know how to pay for
Understandable.
that. Yeah,
I need a
no,
chair. My knees don't work. I'm sorry.
absolutely not. So I go outside, come back inside. I'm sitting there, and something like told me turn around. So like I turned around, and sure enough, he was walking, and he stood right next to me and said hi, and I was like, hey, and then like, and I probably looked so stupid and goofy, but like he walked back past me, and I was like, oh my god, that was Usher, and
Like after the fact,
yes, yes.
like
Because when I saw him, I just gave him a head nod and kept walking. And I was like, oh my God. And then he was like in the VIP section I was in. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so wild.
you're
I've
like,
had a crush on this man for like 20 years.
no, that's the dog. We love him
It
over
was so
here.
cool. It was really cool. Like he
That's
was really
hot.
nice. Yeah. And he could really skate.
Yeah, he be on. I see his videos on Instagram all the time. His skating. I am not a person who can skate like that. So when I go, I do a nice little cute around the ring. Then I'm out.
I could do a little something. I can skate backwards from full voice
Oh,
mode,
absolutely not. I cannot do that. I'll
move
never
a
forget
little
one
bit.
time I went to do ice skating because I don't know, I thought that was going to be easy. Most terrifying experience of my life because it was a group of us and we were like, skating and then we're falling and like there are blades on your feet. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, you're going to fall into something. I was like, I'm never doing this again. And that's when I just realized I was like, all forms of skating, not for me.
That's okay. I really want to get rollerblades. I'm going to get rollerblades because I want to be like rollerblading down the beach in like a crop top and shorts.
And I'm kind of clumsy too. I feel like I will fall.
Oh, really? Can you
Yeah.
dance?
Oh, yes.
Okay. You ain't that clumsy.
No, we can move that way. But like other stuff, yeah, it's like I like trip over. The problem is I'm a lot bigger than I actually think I am. So a lot of times when I'm like moving in certain places or like moving around things, I don't like shift my body enough because I'm like, oh, I can like squeeze through this. And the truth is like
Crazy
I
lady.
cannot. I think I'm very petite and very just like kind of floating all around the place, and it's more like a moose just running around. So I like run into a lot of stuff. I hit a lot of stuff all the time. Um, yeah, it's painful.
You have other talents. That's what matters.
Dude.
All right, y'all. Well, let's go ahead and get to the updates of the week. And there are no updates because nothing really happened. So there were some solicits that came out, but child, nothing was really like hit. It
No.
looks like Fall of X is going to be happening over in the X books. The Avengers stuff is going to be coming out. I am kind of excited for that. But nothing too like crazy popping. A lot of like retro series. Magneto is getting a new series, um,
Mhm. I
which is
saw
set in the
that.
past during his like headmaster era. Um, which again, kind of
Yeah.
like that Gambit series was set in the past.
Yeah, Stormbook is set in the past too.
Yeah. I mean, the past was hot, so I get it.
Yeah,
But
classics. I don't know.
I
I
was
did see
there.
that. I saw DC has like their Night Terrors event going on, and while I'm not necessarily super interested in it, Zatanna's getting a piece, so I'm gonna read her little 2 issue 1. But the covers for that event, like I saw every character who has their own special got like a slew of covers. I think they got at least 4 different types of variants for it, and every single one looks so good. I'm a big fan of horror stuff, so I really enjoy horror comics as well. And I think so many of them leaned into that. There is one for Harley Quinn's book where that's a homage to Carrie, and it's like the blood is splattering down on her, and but it looks so good. It's like, oh, this is a painting. This should have been like the movie poster for something. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them for all that they do. Because artists,
Yeah,
I wish I could draw.
same. Y'all be eating it up, especially those covers. I wish I could draw. That would make life a lot easier. I would just always just flood the timeline with pictures of my
Yeah,
face.
I agree.
We did find out that Agatha Coven of Chaos has recently just cast Patti LuPone to be Lily Calderu. Now, y'all know, I don't know who that is. It's some magic lady in in the
Oh,
magic
sub
in the
magic lady.
Marvel in the Marvel
That's fine.
universe.
I feel like that's how a lot of people are going to feel about most of the people in this show.
I mean, yeah, it's all a bunch of magic ladies. But did they confirm that Aubrey Plaza was going to be um that lady? What's the other
Morgan.
magic lady? Morgan Le Fay? Or
I
was that
don't
Sybil
think. I
Shepherd?
mean, she did confirm that Aubrey Plaza was going to be a witch, but she didn't give anybody's names outside of her own. And she said that boy Joe Locke is going to be a familiar and not Wiccan. So let's go ahead and cut that.
Do familiars like, is that like
They're
a
like,
spirit?
yeah, kind of like the spirit, the one who like helps guide the witch or does stuff for them. Think
Like
of
the little cat. It's usually like the
I was
cat.
about to say Sabrina with her cat.
Yeah.
Um, so
Is he a
that was
person?
they can take the form of people.
Now what's gonna happen though if he is a familiar and then he becomes a person?
Oh,
Ain't that kind of like a loosely based off of Wiccan story? Because wasn't he like a spirit of something, and then like
no.
he reincarnated into he was a broken spirit of
He was made, and then they took his spirit, and that was reincarnated into the boy.
See?
But Sherlock's not Wiccan, so it doesn't matter.
He might be. Who knows?
No, I don't think he is. And I don't think you should be putting that energy out into the universe.
Why not? What's wrong with him being Wiccan? He looks
He's
like
not.
him.
No, he doesn't. But anyways, Patti
Sweet with
LuPone
her
is in
kid
Coven of
and a half eight.
Patti LuPone is in Coven of Chaos, and it's gonna be good. I'm not really excited for the show. I'm not gonna lie to you. I know the gays love
Really?
witch. I
Why?
know I said gay that loves said witches, but I don't know. I just don't really care.
You don't think that, Wanda's gonna make an appearance? This is gonna like explode the
That'd
magic
be good to
corner.
see her.
She might be back in it,
Well, congratulations.
They might even add Nico or
Nico would be fun.
that's all I got. I can't think of
Nico would be fun. Satana would be fun. Jennifer Kale would be hot to see. Yeah.
Who is Jennifer Kale?
You should know Jennifer Kale. She showed up in X-Men books. She's helped Danny do like her quantum powers and stuff like that. Amanda Sefton, she's worked with her.
I know her.
Who's
Jennifer Kale?
Megan Margali. I don't know. I guess there are a lot of cute. Maybe I would watch this show actually.
See? And I guess according to Patti LuPone, I wasn't sure if she was supposed to say all of this, but according to her, she was like, "This is my character," and she was like, witch of divination, and I'm a part of this big coven. It's a bunch of other witches, and it seemed like she was telling like.
She was giving it. We salute her. Patty.
Yeah,
I'm here for her. I'm lying. I'm definitely going to watch this show.
They always switch. They always switch. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and take a break then, and we'll come right back.
Cool. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the comics section. Another week of those, and I had a nice little poll again this week. A few quick mentions to go over. The X-Cellent number 3 came out this week. I'm a big X-Cellent shipper. I really do like it. This issue was cute. They're kind of going around. They go to a party, so there are lots of fun cameos. Dazzler, Speedball, Wasp, Wonder Man is in the background. There's a couple of Gambit lashings, so that was dope. The Magic Order 4, number 4 came out. That continues to be a really good book. It's also really pushed Dyke Bruin. I can't remember if I've said this or not, but like pushed him up the list of like some of my favorite artists of the modern day. Like his work is great. Yeah, he's killing it. Avengers Assemble Omega came out this week. Aaron's run on Avengers is officially over. This was the final one. We had a big, humongous brawl with a bunch of multiversal characters. Mephisto was there. He got punched. Captain America was there. Echo no longer has the Phoenix, so we are celebrating.
Oh, did you see her lose it? That's wild.
Yes, it burned out. Thor introduced her to his mothers, Gaia and Freya. No Phoenix included. We're having a good time. We thank you, Jason Aaron, for the stuff we got. Aaron Cooter, your art was amazing. Javier Garron, your art was amazing. The covers were amazing. Fantastic stuff. Love that. We'll miss it. Get ready for Jed McKay on Avengers next. And She-Hulk number 12 also came out. Just like continues to be a really good book. Shout out to She-Hulk. She is rising through, and I'm hoping
that she's really gotten extended.
I'm like hoping we get another 50-issue run. We've kind of been doing it with a couple of the characters, getting it moments. It's like, let's do it. I'm like,
I've seen that some She-Hulk stands were saying that this is like top 3 writers for her. Up there with the Slott and
that Slott was good.
And Byrne.
Byrne was good too. Honestly, I kind of might agree.
Wow. Okay.
Like I'm sitting here like thinking about the runs, like Tamaki and some other folks who have done some things, Pad, and it's just so. And Soul stuff was good as well. I think Soul's run was mirrored a little bit by the art. It didn't resonate with a lot of people, myself included. But I did like a lot of the things he did with like Hellcat and her law firm that she had there. But again, like I don't know, there's something about Roel. She's brought back the romance aspect of She-Hulk, and I know a lot of people weren't really into that in the beginning, but I think it has kind of turned into a really good story in the way she's doing it. And again, like it appeals to a lot of my stuff. She is doing things like she's now representing Krakoa, which I wonder if someone's going to follow up on that soon. because I don't think
Oh
we've
yeah.
seen anything with it since, and I feel like Krakoa needs it. And then Jack of Hearts is there, so it's like I'm definitely not gonna say nothing bad about it. But this was a really good issue. I love it. I'm hoping to get to 50, like I said. And getting into our main books of the week. Oh, we start with the new number one, and this is your boy, Superboy, the Man of Tomorrow, number one. Tell us all about it.
Yes. Yes, it was. So this was his new number one. He's got this is Connor Kent, everybody, Superboy. And I've been really diving into the Superman camp ever since jumping on Action Comics. I've always kind of liked Superboy, especially during this whole that Jeff Johns Titans era. And when he died, I really enjoyed Superboy, but I never really read a lot of his solo stuff. Before this run, I did read his '90s solo, and it was a lot of fun. I was still kind of like on his powers, like the way they explained them there, but like whatever, I still liked him. Now we get into this run, and let me make sure I get the names of everybody correct. The writer was, and the art boy was by Genoa Lindsay, who was I was a big fan of on like Twitter and Tumblr back in the day. So it's really cool to see him like drop stuff now. That's really cool.
Is this the book that won that DC round robin?
Yes, it did.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Period. Also, one thing about my favorites, they're gonna win a vote, and
That's true. That's true. You gotta look at the draw.
they're gonna win a vote. And so this issue opens up. We see Superboy. He's in Metropolis helping save some people. There's like everyday mess going on. Like this billboard fell down, but of course, who jumps in but Supergirl Kara and Superman John, and they come and save and fix everything. And he's like, "Oh, I could have gotten that." And they were like, "Oh, don't worry about it. Like we got it. Like it's cool." And he's like, "I'm also powerful. Like I could have done it myself." And you really start to see that Superboy feels like out of place, that he doesn't feel like he has his own like lane anymore. And you kind of get this background info on him on how when right before um, the crisis happened that Barry Allen did during the Infinite Crisis, that he went to Gem World. So like he was trapped in Gem World. The crisis happened, and when it got rewritten, the other Superboy was not him. It was like the New 52 version. Superboy was actually a clone of John Kent, whatever it's comic books. But his Connor Kent was not created in the New 52, so he like basically was erased. And now that everything is back, he feels like, what even is everything? You guys remember, everyone kind
Yeah.
of also does remember the New 52. So like you remember a time when I wasn't even around, so he doesn't feel like he has any kind of place.
Got it.
So he goes to the Fortress of Solitude, and he talks to Keelix, the little robot in there that I think is really cute. And he's like, tell me some places that like I just need to find my own lane. He had this earlier conversation with the Kents, and they were like, you just need to go do your own thing. Look at Superman. He was in Smallville, but he didn't grow until he moved and went to Metropolis and did his own thing. You just have to go find your own lane. So he asked Keelix to show him some places, like show me some things on Earth. And he's like, most of these cities like have heroes. He said, show me something like in the galaxy. There are way more issues out there. He grabs his teleporter and he just goes to this planet, starts trying to help these people, and some chaos ensues there. He ends up fighting these villains who were, I guess, like they are also clones that were being created by I can't remember. Oh, a Dominator. If people who are into DC Comics know the Dominators are just these like omnipotent villains who are trying to dominate, and they have this clone army where they use material from different aliens, quote unquote, to them, even though it's like humans to us. And they'll like use a metahuman or something and get their powers and DNA from them and try to make clones and give these other things powers. So Superboy ends up fighting all of them. He does this really cool blast thing that made him look like Trunks from Dragon Ball Z, which again, I like his powers. I just really want like an on-panel explanation of how they work because
Does he still have the telekinesis?
yes, he's like tactile telekinesis, but also
Yeah.
like in this, he's like shooting like full on blast from his hand. So sort of, I'm assuming it's probably just like
Uh-oh.
telekinetic energy. Yeah.
So is this Superboy also like in? Because the Titans have been having like those little miniseries, Bloodsport and stuff like that. This is the same Connor.
Does he got a jacket on?
No, he's wearing like his t-shirt looking those.
Oh, maybe not. That might be a clone.
Okay.
I don't know. I haven't read those Titans things, so it might be a clone.
They were
But
good, honestly. Like if anyone like wants to go back and look at them, one of those I can't remember the first one, but like Titans Bloodsport, they've been dealing with Brother Blood and stuff, and then the other one had like Hawk and Dove. They've obviously been like cash cows to tie in with the show because like those past of them, but
I
they've
don't
been
think that
like
was the same.
they've been really good reads, so I didn't know if they were the same.
I don't know. I don't think those were the same. It may have, like you said, they probably just used like a clone of him or something to tie in with the show. But I'll check it out though. I like Superboy. And I think that was written by Kevin Scott, right? I'm a fan of his stuff. Um, but anyway, back to this issue. He's done a lot of really cool stuff with his powers. He has this really cool big blast thing. Again, I like the way that it looks, and I even like him with telekinesis. But like, I really want to know how exactly does that work with his Kryptonian powers. He brings up in here like, oh, I'm using my super strength and like being invulnerable to stuff. And yeah, by the end of it, there are these other like heroes who come to help him, and they're looks like they're also going to fight because everyone's confused. They think that he is one of the clones that the Dominators have made. So yeah, it was a fantastic issue. I think space is a great lane to give anybody, obviously, because I'm a fan of it. But particularly like Superboy, I think amongst everybody else, he doesn't really have a lane now. I mean, John kind of took his whole gig, even
I was about to
though
say John's here. It was like he was Superboy for a little bit. Now he's Superman. It's like okay,
he
that's
even
kind of
took
messed
that.
up.
He even took the whole bisexual thing. Everybody knows like Connor and Tim.
They were on the
They had
and them for the
they had
longest. Oh my gosh, he stole it so slow.
he took his flow bar for bar, word for
That's
word.
crazy.
So Superboy is out here trying to find his own lane, and I think that this is a great one so far. I would honestly give this issue a 4 out of 5.
Okay, dope.
I
Shout out to
really enjoyed it.
Superboy.
Fantastic art. Again, this was written by Kenny Porter, and the art was by Janoy Lindsay.
So, no mention of Tim in this issue, though.
No.
What a win. All right, next issue on the list is Static, Shadows of Dakota #3. Your other boy. Tell us all about it.
Yes, so this issue was okay. And it was written by
Okay.
Nicholas,
Is that a good
Nicholas
okay?
Draper Ivy. It was just okay. It was written by Nicholas Draper Ivy and Vita Ayala, and the art was also by Nicholas Draper Ivy. And while I didn't dislike the issue, I also wasn't like raving about the issue. Also, by the end of it, we open with Ebon is now here. This is like Ebon's first big showcasing in comics, actually, because he was actually created in the show. So Ebon is here, and he's got this like new telepathic power or something because he's like runs into these other Bang babies who are kind of like gang members, and they are beefing. And Ebon is looking for his brother. He tells them like, where's my brother? I know you guys got some information, and they try to fight him, but like Ebon is like, oh, I can just get it from you and go into your mind. That is new to me because he definitely wasn't like a telepath on the show. So, but again, whatever. Like, I guess this is to change his. I don't know. Either way, it's something to make him a little different. But I guess this is just who he is now. But he has these like telepathic powers. Then we go back to Static, who is reeling over the fact that he kind of knows where he should be going as far as where Ebon is, because Ebon is like doing some bad things as well as the Bang babies who have been like getting picked up by these like corporate evil people. They were in the last issue. Um, his sister is like, I know you. I know you're gonna want to go out and go do your thing. The difference about this run so far is that his family knows he's Static, and they like have open conversations about it. And his family is also very supportive about it. The one thing I really do love about this is the family aspects that we get. There was a scene later in this where Static had been like a mentor to this other kid who he also kind of had powers. He kind of showed Virgil, and Virgil didn't tell Static that he also had powers. I'm sorry, he didn't tell the kid that he was Static. But he told the kids, like, I have this competition coming up. Like, my parents are never really there. Like, will you come? And his parents did show up this time. And later on, after this, the kid won second place, and they took him out to get his favorite dinner. And the parents are sitting down with him, telling him how, you know, we are sorry we can't really be there for every single one of your things, but never let that, never think that we aren't very proud of you and everything that you accomplished. You are like our light. And I thought that was really great. It really reminded me of my parents and the conversations I had with them when I was a kid, and they looked like my parents in this. So I thought that was really great. Um, and Static again is having some issues with his friends, debating on whether he should like out being static and versus kind of being a kid. He has a cute moment where Daisy kind of bumps into him. He has like, "Oh my gosh, should I talk to her?" or whatever, which I thought was kind of cute. By the end of the issue, the little boy who was who just had one second place, he gets stalked by this evil white man who like comes up to him and is like, "Oh, I saw you one that you're really smart. You shouldn't be walking home by yourself." And the kid's like, "No, I got it. Like I can follow the bus. Like I'm good." And it's obvious that this man is gonna like try to pick up the boy or something. So we'll see next issue.
Okay.
Again, I like it. I really like the stuff that goes on with all the family aspects, but I don't know.
Mhm.
I think my issue with it is just because I'm an old man, and a lot of the
Which is
a lot
real.
of the a lot of the like kid stuff and more high school aspects of the book I just don't really connect with anymore.
Okay. I mean, I guess that's
That's just
fair.
personal. Art's pretty good though. I've turned on it before. I used to like not really be into like the Boondocks kind of anime style of it, but like I like it.
Okay. What would you rate it?
I would give the issue a 3 out of 5.
Okay, that's solid.
Yeah,
Still something you'd recommend to fans who either want to like know about Static or like get into it.
definitely.
Okay, well that's good to know. All right, and the final book on our list this week is Hellcat #2, and that comes from Christopher Cantwell and Alex Lenz. And Patsy's taking it. I don't know what else to tell you guys really quick. So, in the first issue, we find out that her boyfriend, this guy named Spalding, is dead, and she has been accused of killing him. And so she leads her own investigation into finding out what's going on, which takes her to Rick Sheridan, who is the Sleepwalker. And the Sleepwalker, first of all, do you know who Rick Sheridan is? Sleepwalker. So,
No.
okay, I was about to say Sleepwalker.
Oh wait, I know what Sleepwalker is.
Yeah, so Sleepwalker is Rick Sheridan is the guy that Sleepwalker inhabits. That's the
Oh,
body. For
got it.
those who don't know, there's a place in the Marvel universe called the Mindscape, and it is inhabited by all of these strange creatures. The Sleepwalkers are them, and they like defend the Mindscape for like bad dreams, evil dreams, stuff like that. Sleepwalker takes over Rick Sheridan as his host, and he helps him like solve those crimes. Now, Sleepwalker thinks that Rick is the one who killed Patsy's boyfriend because Rick is in love with Patsy, but he can't remember anything. So the Sleepwalker persona kind of takes over to lead his own investigation into it while Patsy is doing her thing. She's coming back in contact with her mom because, again, she's remembering things about her past. Her mom is like, "You're a good girl, you're a good girl." And Patsy's like, "The things that you said about me in those stories wasn't true. You lied. You're a bad person. I'm kind of bad. Remember when Dad said this?" And Patsy's ghost mom is like, "Don't talk about your dad. He was crazy. It was always everybody else was at fault. He never did anything wrong." So there's drama going over there. And Patsy ends up going to her best friend Edie. She's like, who tell me what's going on, because she can't remember a lot about what's happening. Other people can't remember what's happening. She's trying to figure out answers from her. She doesn't get it. Damon Hellstrom also pops up in this. If you remember when I
Oh,
talked about the ex-husband of hers, yes. Um, in the annual, he has kind of taken over the body of this like stuffed bunny, and he has been basically following Patsy around and kind of trying to like let her know. So she confronts him as well. She's like, "Are you the reason I can't access my powers? Are you the reason I can't remember anything?" And he's like, "You're always blaming everybody else, kind of like your mom. When are you going to start to like sit back and realize that maybe you're doing something wrong, or that you need to change your ways, or that you need to look at something else?" And so she's like, "Whatever," and she sends him away, which brings her back to Hetty. And like her best friend also kind of says something. She's like, "You're breaking into my house trying to get these answers from me. Like, you're not acting like a good person." The police, and she calls 911 while this is going on. The police come, they shoot Patsy. That cuts. We go back to Sleepwalker as he's leading his investigation. He runs into Blackheart, and the issue ends. So we got a lot of stuff going on here: death, murder, mystery, mothers. We're trying to figure it out. I think it's really good. Alex Lynn's art is really good. He captures a lot of the face acting really well in terms of Patsy and her mom. Her mom continues to be a nasty woman and a great antagonist for her. It's good to see Damon. We put a lot of history going on that she's got. We're also moving her forward and trying to figure out what's happening. There's a lot of interesting bits here. I'm really enjoying it. I can't wait for the next issue. I give it a 4 out of 5.
Wow, okay. I think I know Blackheart. Isn't that like, has he got like this big, like,
The tendrils.
the tendrils on his head? He's like really big, black, and scary. Is he
Yeah,
Mephisto's son?
yeah, that's him.
I feel like he was in a video game.
Or Dormammu's son, one of their sons. I think
Okay.
I spelled out. But it was good.
All right.
Regardless, I'm into it. It's
It was
great.
rated.
Check it out. I rate it 4 out of 5.
Oh,
For
okay.
sure. For sure. And those are the books of the week.
Okay. All right. Well, then let's go ahead and get over into the AR Club for the week. And this week we read the pretty much the end of Avengers Arena issues 15 through 18. And things are finally coming to an end, I guess, as we have been on this island for a while. And the kids were finally having to force to kind of kill each other. And well, last issue we had the trigger scent moment with X-Cellent
Laura.
with Laura, and also last issue we had the Cullen boy break free of his monster, and
Oh,
Laura came up. They get to fighting. Laura like chops off one of his claws. They're still fighting. Also, I will say that like this run has been wild to read now versus when it came out, because when did this come out? 2013. That's 10 years ago.
damn.
Right?
I didn't even realize that. That's cool. Shout out to the 10-year anniversary of Avengers Arena.
Boom. This came out 10 years ago, and reading it then is much different than reading it now, because I remember not really caring about a lot of these kids. Um, and I still don't now. But I do like I do like this Nara girl, who I think it was
I
I
told you
don't know
she
if
was hot. You didn't want to
she was
listen to me
hot.
when I told you a few issues ago. I was like, she's the dog. You were like, I don't know. She seems nasty. She's it.
She's kind of great. I don't know if he's supposed to be black coded, but that's kind of how I'm taking it because I like her. But they're on this island, and they're fighting this big Cullen monster. The who's this? Nico, Darkhawk, and Reptile try to fight him. They are not doing very well. Nico is useless per usual because like none of her spells work. Nara is goes into the ocean because Cullen's magic ring had locked dropped down there to get that so they can kind of turn him back into a human. Back on the land again, um, Nico did some like big blast. She said this was her best move and it does nothing. So everyone else tries to fight the monster. Nara comes up and she's like, "Oh, I got the ring. Just touch it to him, and I can turn him back." She does that, but of course, in the process, like the monster killed her and she died. Um, Also, during this, we had some flashbacks of her life, and she was like, her parents were traitors. They were sided with Atuma and tried to kill Namor, as he was called, and
No more. You
they
guys
tried to kill
won.
they tried to kill Namor, and after that, because her parents were like traitors, they sent her to the surface world, and she's been there ever since. Well, well, now she's dead. So, she really been there ever since.
Yeah.
I thought this issue was pretty good, solid one. Next issue, we switched artists. Now we're going back to the other artist who also did some arcade stuff, Carmeline. And now we're seeing how Arcade had been like watching the kids this entire time. This is now like literally day 30. And he's like, I thought I was going to get them skinning each other alive right at the beginning, but no, they did a slow burn for me. So I guess I'm just going to have to sit and watch them kind of kill each other. Anachronism is hacking away at Cullen, even though he's like back to his other form. He really wants to kill him because he was in love with Nara. These people are all still fighting. I don't like that Cammy girl. I kind of find her annoying. I think the like I think the like I've got all this attitude person, but they don't have no powers person is annoying to
Is
me.
that just what Bobby Show got no powers? Is
No,
that what
girl, you
it
came
is? She
back
had
this
the
time.
powers and then
You
she'd be
came back this
fine.
time.
Um, I I see why those type of characters exist, but I do agree they're not my favorite.
Yes, yes, I see their reasons
Not
being
even
stupid.
necessarily like just because of the lack of powers. If she had powers, I would still be like, girl, you need to back because your powers ain't gonna save you from getting your ass beat.
And they did not, because they was out here tussling on this beach. Also, we still had Hazmat still kind of like running away from X-23. She can't do anything. She's still scared. Which like I remember when I first read this when this came out 10 years ago, and I did like Hazmat, but now I don't think I do. I think I just liked her blasty energy powers. I think
Really, I feel like reading Captain Marvel would kind of like make you like her even more since she's been such a big part of that and actually getting some character growth.
no, she was still just there being like the kid. Being like the kid sidekick. She's her powers are cool. And she's like more competent than I think some of the other kids,
Her
but she's
powers
still
are
just
kind of dangerous. I feel like that's scary.
yeah. She should get him under control. Hopefully she gets there one day. And doesn't have to wear like that suit. But then we also see that inside Death Locket, also a annoying little girl, but she gets the job done. And we'll get to why she gets the job done later. Um, she has been working with Tim, or as the female, Tim Bashir, or Katie Bashir, whichever is talking at the moment. She's been working with them. They're inside of Arcade's base. She's trying to like break out everybody. They end up breaking out the original Darkhawk, and they end up stopping Arcade, who ends up like teleporting away during the middle of like them fighting. So by the end of this issue, we have Darkhawk being set free on land. The Runaways and the Young Avengers have kind of split sides. Now it's down to like everybody really got to kill each other, and Nico and Chase are like, well, now we got to fight, so forget it. And Nico just goes straight for Cullen. She's like, I just gotta, if we gotta kill him, we gotta go. Like it
Take
is
them
what it
out.
is.
We at the finish line now. Do what you gotta do.
And she was like, the game really is over tomorrow, so if he gotta go, it's not gonna be me. And I will give her that. She did do something there. Um, Next issue 17, we have again the game is winding down. Nico and X-23 and Hazmat are still kind of going at it. Um, Reptile and Anachronism are fighting, even though everyone's kind of like trying to say calm down. Reptile is like, we can stop fighting, but most of the people are like, no, we can't. Like the game is over at this point. Nico is having a hard time killing Cullen. She's like been dragging him across this island this entire time, but nothing's working. Again, like I said earlier, Arcade ends up like teleporting away and getting himself out. But who takes over? Katie. She says, I'm going to run the game now. She sends these like death locusts after everybody for them to fight. Cammy ends up like wrestling with Darkhawk and takes his Dark Star thing, his like crystal that turns him into a Darkhawk. She takes it, she puts it on so she can be a Darkhawk. And towards the end of the issue, Death Locket is still being used by Katie Bashir. What kind of been using her? She says like, you're back exactly where I had you, right up under my thumb. So again, she's a nasty little girl. And Hazmat is like, guys, I'm not feeling well. Something's not right. It looks like she's about to erupt and explode. We all know that's going to be a bad thing if that happens. Then we get to issue 18, final issue of the series, and where things are really wrapping up now. Katie is like still running the show, watching everything unfold. Hazmat is about to explode. Reptile's like, I got it. He takes her, runs her out into the ocean. She has this big explosion. I assume that he thought that he would be fine because he's a dinosaur and that like maybe he would survive that kind of radiation.
I'd be like, wow, they
That's
didn't do it the first time.
I know that's the logic I was trying to give myself in my head, but I was like, I don't know if he's supposed to survive this. But whatever, he ends up surviving it anyway. They end up coming back onto the beach and they're like, we got to work together. We don't really have to kill each other. Um, the Katie Brashear sends these like locusts and some sand people and like this water spirit thing to kind of attack everybody. She really wants everybody to die. Death Locket tries to break free of her control over her, and she tries to fight back. They end up having a little wrestle session. Of course, Tim comes out and he's like, you got to shoot me. You need to kill me. She's like, I can't do it. Katie comes back and he's like, blah blah blah. The whole back and forth, the Jekyll and Hyde thing. And Tim is like, no, you need to do it. All of a sudden, we flash back to the beach. Death Locket appears, and she's like, y'all, the game is over. don't worry about it. And her shirt's extremely bloody. She says, we don't have to worry about it anymore. The game is done. So you can pretty much just put two and two together to know what happened there.
The game is done. Like, what else do you say? Let's go home.
Let's go home. They're all on the beach trying to figure out what do they say now. They're like, we can't just like tell them the truth of what happened. I think it was Nico and Cammy. They were also like, we can't just like say what happened on this beach. Like they're not just gonna say, oh yeah, Arcade dropped us off here and like it was all him to blame. Like there's no guarantee that that's the story. That how people like to lie and make up stories about people about what really happened. So they all just decided that we will not tell anything about what happened here on this island at all. Just don't say anything. Everyone just ends up getting picked up by their respective like adults. We see Wolverine come and pick some people up. Captain Britain comes. And then at the end of the series, we see Arcade is watching a YouTube series where people are saying he's going to upload a video called What Really Happened on Murder World. And we see the views kind of got to go up. So again, he got what he wanted, which was people watching.
Yeah. And that's all, you got to kind of love a villain who's they have a very simple goal. They might go to some extravagant ways to get it, but it's a very simple goal. And it kind of always works out for them.
Yeah. Now that we read this, now that we're older, how do you feel about a series like this now? Should this have been like an event, or would you have liked that it was like kind of an ongoing series? Because I remember at the time, this was announced. Obviously, we knew at some point it would probably end because you're going to run out of kids, but this was being promoted as like an ongoing series.
I remember that very distinctly, and I support it. I'm always going to support an idea that's kind of like out there or like different. You know what I'm saying? I feel like as comic book fans, a lot of times we often talk about we want things to change and we want to kind of go past nostalgia. We want to give new characters a chance. Yes, a lot of these new characters did die, but like we still saw that you still got the fan base. You still had those characters who survived and grew. This series got like another little part afterwards where they kind of like went after their revenge, and you got to continue that story. And I even think it kind of goes back to what we were saying last week. We were talking about Carol. Sometimes your characters are going to go through uncomfortable moments in books and stuff like that, and then after a while it's going to come back around, and it's going to be that growth for the character, and that's how you push them forward into new territory. So I'm always going to say, like, if you got a weird idea, go for it. You know what I'm saying? If this is the type of stuff you want to get, I also think this type of story like still resonates with people. I think of shows like Alice in Borderland, which kind of follows people. And even me, I was talking about it. I like watching people fight for their lives. I don't know. It's something about like the perseverance that comes along with it. It just like resonates. You want to root for these people. You want to see them succeed. You want to see them survive, and you want to see them like win. So it hits. I think it was still just as good today as it was 10 years ago.
It was. I think overall, like the series was really great. It was interesting looking at this because it could have been an event, I guess, because of just the way that it was written and the stakes that I felt. But I guess it probably couldn't have been because none of these characters were established. They were all new. So that kind of makes it a difference. But again, I guess that's more of a testament to like the writing of it all and like the way that it was, like the story that was told. It really
and shout out to Dennis. I feel like he didn't always like get his fair due at Marvel. A lot of books he had dealt with a lot of editorial interference and like cut short for other reasons and kind of roped into events. But I feel like everything he wrote was still pretty good.
Yes, I agree. Shout out to him. Again, I really like the series. It's completely different reading it now than before. When I was reading it as a kid, I think I like just was just excited for all this like actiony stuff, kind of getting into it, and I didn't really too much look into the characters outside of just knowing, oh well, I don't really care about any of them. Like they're not going to survive. But now reading it and like getting into it, I still don't really care too much about them. But it's for like actual reasons and because of just how my interests have changed and evolved. And yeah, some of them were good. I did like Nara,
Queen.
but she did. She did though. So.
Yeah. But, it's the Marvel Universe. You can bring anybody back. Start
Very
the
true.
petition, put the tweets on Twitter, make a little hashtag. You in there.
Yes. If they end up on a vote, you never know. And if anybody wants to continue the story, this does follow, continue on in Avengers Undercover. I think you can kind of see some of them decided actually to become villains. So you can watch and see which ones decided to become villains actually, which ones were maybe pretending to just be undercover. But definitely go ahead and check that out. In the meantime, let's go ahead and take a break and then we'll come right back.
I did. I got dressed like a thing, and I looked cute. I'm gonna send you the picture because my outfit was rocking. It was I've been talking about changing my style around for the summer and things like that to get
Let me
ready.
see the fit. Send me the picture.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna send you the picture.
I want to see. I'm trying to be a hot girl this summer, and I'm trying to. If you got the tips, show me.
I'm here.
All right, y'all. So welcome back, and we are going to announce a little bit some things that are switching up. Normally, we have a relaunch section here, but we're actually going to take a bit of a break there to kind of recharge the ideas, get some more stuff, some ideas for some characters. So we're actually going to start doing the AR Club here, and we're going to actually start rewatching the Justice League Unlimited and kind of finish off where we left off. So go ahead and watch episode 13 and I guess 13 and 14, and we'll talk about those two episodes when we come back. And yeah, so that's the kind of a switch up we have there.
So they never took it off streaming like they said they was going to. HBO's a bunch
I
of
know.
lies. Max
we rushed
Discovery,
through it before back in January.
You know what you did. You was wrong.
We tried to hurry up and watch it before it was gone, but sure enough, it's still there. So let's watch it while it's still there, because who knows where it goes after it switches back to Max or whatever they're trying to change everything over to. So watch episodes 13 and 14, and we'll be talking about those next week. But that brings us to the end of the show. Please make sure you guys rate and subscribe us wherever you get your podcast. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at Another Relaunch. You can watch us on YouTube at Another Relaunch TV. You can find me on most social media platforms at UncannyLZ. Keenan, where can they find you?
You guys know you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Keenan Lance. As always, there's an underscore at the end.
All right, so let's get up out of here and we'll catch you next week.
Peace.